Hey creatives, welcome back. I'm Michelle, and I thought it was about time that I did a little update on my art journey. So if you're interested to see what I've been up to, then stick around and take a look. Okay, so I'm starting with this sketchbook. I think this is where I left off in my previous video. If you haven't seen it, it's the Chatty sketchbook tour, which shows my first couple months of my art journey and what I painted and drew in the first couple months. And I think this is where I left off. So I thought I would just start here, and also as a reference, you can see that my background is more in a realism and realistic drawing. And this year I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone and do a lot more abstract and mark making and expressive, and I'm trying out different kinds of mediums. So but I did work on a bunch of these pictures with the Derwent Inktense, which I really love. If you've never used them, it's a great combination of like watercolor and color pencils, because you can wet it and get this nice solid shading like watercolor, but still the nice sharpness and detail of using pencil. So that was where I think I ended last time. And then I ended up doing an asparagus, and I used a little fine liner to do some detail on this one. Wasn't as happy with it, but I think it's still cute. Nice little illustration. This was a mermaid. I did the pencil sketch for it. I never got around to coloring this, but I think I will finish this one off with the Derwent Inktense as well, because I think that the effects with the watercolor pencil will be really nice with the water and the sky and all the details. So I'll finish that one hopefully down the road. I did another one, Derwent Inktense, and this was a nice strawberry, and I love how you get the different effects of the watercolor details, but you can also get nice fine details as well. And again, I did use a fine liner to get the really nice outline, just to make things a little more crisp and clear. That's just the way that I like to work. But that was a fun little strawberry to do. He was cute. This little bee guy I was really pleased with. Again, Derwent Inktense. I did use a Pinterest, I think, reference for the bee, or no, it might have been off of one of the free copyright-free websites. I think I got the bee reference from. But then the flower I just kind of made up. I just wanted to have the idea of a flower, but not necessarily like really detailed in it. So I just made it look like the little buds on the flowers, and then a nice little wash in behind. But just so you guys can see that I have a background in more realistic looking art. That's usually what I did in the past. And then this year I'm working on trying to be more expressive and abstract, but I still do enjoy doing this type of drawing as well. This one I feel like I might have even talked about in my past video, so maybe you have seen these couple. I'm not sure. I apologize if you did, but maybe it's fun to see them again. This one was done in gouache. I did struggle a bit with this one. I have a hard time using gouache to do skin tones. That's something I really need to work on and practice, and I went over and over this way too many times. I did like the way the shirt and the shadows turned out. I like her hair and her bandana. Using some gold gel pens for like the jewelry and the sunglasses. I mean, I learned some things from this. It's not one of my like favorites, but it's fun. It was fun to do, and I like doing women and fashion and things like that. So that was fun to do. I have to do some more like that sometime. That was it for that little book. This was a sheep. I think it turned out kind of ugly, but again, I think I used watercolor for this one. It was either the Kuretake Ganzi Tambi, or it was just a plain, I think my New Winsor Newton Cotman watercolors. It was one or the other. He looks like a weirdo, but you know, it was just trying different techniques and shading and you know, whatever. It is what it is. It's practice. It's all practice. We don't like everything we do. This one was just like a weird, I think I had some paint left on a palette was just doing mark making and just letting it flow. It's just a mess of color. Really, I have no idea, but that's what I made. Don't love it. Here I went back into doing more of my faceless girls. If you saw my previous video, then you have seen a bunch of this style that I have done, which I really like doing. This one I used the Karataki, the Ganzi Tambi watercolors, which I really liked using. And then I did, again, the fine liner. I gave her little tortoiseshell glasses, which was really fun to do. But I liked using, her hand looks weird because I think the reference photo only went to here, and then I kind of drew it out a little bit, but I like the overall effect of this. It was fun to do, and I need to get back to doing, I think, some more of these. They were fun. This was just sketch I'd started, but I haven't colored it. I think in another one of these books, I have a full color small study that I did of this girl, but I will come back and paint her as well. And then another, this was with watercolor. I know this was with the Derwent Inktense as well. I thought it was fun to do. Is it my best? No, but I had fun with the details and the hair, and again, just kind of a very expressive and abstract piece that was fun. It was like a relaxing, I think, Saturday afternoon that I did this one, so I had fun. That's it for that book. There's only a couple. All right, this one has some weird, I don't know what happened here. This has nothing to do with the reference photo that I looked at. And it ends up looking to me, that reminds me of Taylor Swift if she had elf shoes on. I don't know. The coat was fun. I don't mind. She ended up having long hair. This was one of those things where this is not what I planned to draw, but I just kept drawing things, and this is how she ended up. Like, and I put a hat on her. I gave her long hair. I don't know why her shoes are pointy. I was just drawing. It was like I was being controlled by other forces or something. And I think it's a little strange looking. Like, there's parts of it I like her coat, but the rest of it, I don't know what to say about this one. Like I said, everything is practiced. Here was a cute cat that I had done, and after I painted this one, just watercolor, I took it into Procreate, which I will show you later, and did some experimenting with coloring, like using digital layers to add like flowers over top of it, and I've been doing a lot of that lately, and that's really fun. So that was the cat that I did as the base for those pieces, which you'll see later when I show you my Procreate. That was the sketch I did so I could get it onto, just trace it onto the paper. This was just like, I don't know, you probably have pieces like this where I just have it to the side and I'm using it to try out colors and try out sketches and like literally what you do in a sketchbook. Try out different colors and techniques and just make notes and things. So when I was trying to draw the cat for the watercolor, I was using I was trying to do proportions. So I had done a little sketch, and then that's what I made the big sketch with. So again, like a scratch pad. And this one, I was just trying out some mark making. I'll put it here so you don't see the one underneath. So I literally just went in with a bunch of random colors of my watercolor, and I filled up the page and I let it all bleed, and I let it do some fun things on its own, and I let that dry. And then I came back with a couple of my different gel pens and the white acrylic, which I need to find some really good ones. I guess I should buy some of those Posca ones. They look the best. But if you guys have suggestions on the best white acrylic paint markers to use for mark making over top of watercolor, let me know in the comments, as I'm looking for a good one. But I took a couple of, they were like kind of metallic gel pens, and I just tried different kinds of mark making on top of the watercolor, because I wanted to see if there were some that maybe were my favorites or that I really liked the look of. Like, I like all the little lines, I like these little X's. But again, it's just experimenting, it's just being creative and just trying things out. So that's what I did there. And then I just went in with the watercolors and did again some overall washes and let it do its fun bleeding and blooms, and which I love, and let that dry. And then I came in with just my gold gel pen, did some drawing and mark making over top. And in this one I did some sketches of my vases with flowers because I love doing those and it's just a fun thing to do. And just to see what's the effect if I just do a simple abstract drawing sketch over some of these. And I think some of them are actually quite cute. If you were to have them on their own, maybe digitize them, they would be cute little artworks. This was a girl I had done, again, I believe it was the Kiritaki Gonzai Tombi watercolor. I don't know why this is still on, but it kind of, she has like a Red Riding Hood look to her, but it wasn't necessarily what I meant to do. It looks very wintry, which was kind of fun. I love the whole background, all the blooms and all the beautiful designs that it made in there. But again, this is another one that I took into Procreate later, and they ended up taking out all the background, and then I did some floral designs on her cape. So I will show you at the end again what I worked on with that. So that was an experiment I was doing where I did a couple different things with the watercolor, like in real physical watercolors, and then I digitized them. I took pictures of them and brought them into Procreate. So I had lots of fun with those. This is just me sketching because it's just a sketchbook, trying different kinds of flowers and motifs and designs, and seeing what kind of flowers I like to draw for just abstract illustrations and for digital work as well as physical work. So I'm just trying like all the different kinds of designs and styles, and see what you know, what I enjoy drawing, because there's so many different ways that you can draw flowers, and there's so many different kinds, and there's so many different styles. So it's just me experimenting, because this is, after all, a sketchbook, so I was sketching. This was one I had done as I was doing a little chatty video. I think it was my previous one that you might have seen, where I was talking about the, you know, the journey of being an artist, and it can be hard and it can be a struggle, but you know, you have to enjoy the process. So this was the picture. This was taken as I think I used inspiration out of the Terry Runyan book that I have shown in previous videos. And I use that as a starting point, and then I just literally did again with the watercolor on paper, and then came back over and did some doodling and mark making. But if you saw my last video, then you've seen that one. It's kind of weird, but again, it's just letting creativity flow and just having fun and enjoying it. So that was one that I did while we were chatting. And this one I never came back to, again, based from the Terry Runyan book. I just like literally took 1 minute with one color and made some blobby cats, and I'm going to come back to them with some gel pens or something, or something, and do mark making and give them all faces and some fun markings, and I don't know, just have fun with it and make some abstract cats. And that's it for that video, for that book. This is a really like a sketchy sketchbook. Again, this is where I did the little sketch for the sheep that you saw, the big brown or black sheep, I guess. I consider myself a black sheep because I do things differently than a lot of other people, and I finally have found peace with the fact that I am the black sheep, and there's nothing wrong with that. And actually, I wear it as a badge of honor, because I do what feels good to me and not what people think I should do. How many of you can relate to that? Anyway, so this is a real sketchy sketchbook where I make notes and I just draw out ideas, and so I don't forget them. Like here, I had made some art goals and ideas for, I was going to do some Christmas cards, or even like Advent Christmas illustrations, which I might still do. This was just an idea I had. I actually made a tote bag. I drew all these vegetables out on my iPad. I can show you that as well. So this was my idea for the layout, and I made some tote bags, which I actually put on my Etsy shop and was selling. I made a couple different ones, so that was the sketch for that. Here was just some quick sketch ideas. I was going to make Christmas cards this year. Did I do them? Of course I didn't do them, because my ideas are always great, and then the execution and the time organization never works out. So again, some more Christmas card designs, which I didn't do anything with. Some more Christmas with cats illustrations. Didn't do anything with that. There is the first sketch I did for that girl, which I used to transfer onto my watercolor paper because I didn't want to do the drawing right into my watercolor book, so I did the drawing in here first. Here's me trying to do some more stylized or animated foxes. I don't love those, but this is me sketching. This was for a project for one of the courses I did, and they give you an idea of what a design brief. So that was just doing a few little sketches for that. Here I was trying to think outside the box and do some more abstract women's faces. And so I was just sketching out different ideas. These were all from my brain. They weren't from any kind of reference photo. Me just literally doing really quick sketches and just seeing what came out. And I think some of them are kind of fun, and I actually have been using this eyebrow in some newer things I've been doing because I think it's kind of fun. I think she's really cute. She has like a 40s look to her. Her big shoulder pads and her slouchy hat. But this is me trying to get out of my making it realistic way of doing things, and I think it's fun to always experiment. And oh, here's the girl I was telling you about, the one I didn't paint, but here's a colored pencil study that I did of her, and it was a reference photo I had seen. I changed her face and her hair, but the coat, the pose basically, and the coat was an idea I had seen in a reference photo, but I changed the pattern. I gave her a floral pattern, and I gave her different hair with a flower, but the pose with her feet and the coat I did use as a reference but it was just a fun little study because I hadn't really done anything for a while, so I had just done this one recently, and I think it's a sweet little picture. This was just sketch from the when I had made the video previous, and I was just trying out how I wanted to do different parts on the picture. So just again, sketchy sketch. So that one was a really rough sketchbook. And then last but not least, the sketchbook. This is the one that I've been working on more recently. I bought it in August, but I don't think I started using it till September, and I didn't use the first few pages. I bought myself some new, I had splurged on a nice box of Prismacolor pencil crayons, the one that has like I think it has 3 trays in it. So I was just, fooling around, seeing what some of the colors look like, seeing how the texture of the colored pencils looks on paper, and just doodling a little and experimenting with color. And this is even really out of the box for me because I've always been someone that shied away from a lot of color. I don't know if you guys find you do that as well, but I've always been like a black and white and neutral kind of person and never really used a lot of color. This year I've been attracted to more colorful things, so I'm trying to get outside of my comfort zone and use more colors and things. And I really admire people that use a lot of color in their art and their creations, because I never have done it, and I've never been brave enough to use color, but it brings me joy to see it in other people's work. So it's something I would love to incorporate in my own art, and I'm working on it, but I really do, I gravitate towards neutrals, black and white and neutral. Here I literally just sat on the couch one night and I just got my fine liner and I just started doodling. I think I was watching a movie, and just for the sake of drawing and doodling and being creative. And this one I come back to once in a while and I'll fill out like another section. But it's very like meditative. If anyone, you don't feel like really concentrating on anything, but you just want to mindlessly, but you feel like moving your hands and drawing and getting something on paper. I recommend doing this kind of exercise once in a while. And I think I can't even remember if I did I think I did all the outlines first, and then I went back and started filling in all the sections with either lines or circles or whatever. But that was fun. I enjoyed that. And then I had watched a video, I don't remember who, no, I'm not even going to say a name because I don't want to say the wrong person. Somebody was saying how they like to do studies of just one color, just take one color, and so it's not about the colors, it's just about the shapes and the things that you can make. This is all just from my head, just using one color of watercolor and just seeing what shapes I make with my brush and getting things down. And just I was trying to do a bunch of, figure studies, just really quick, like literally, 10 to 30-second sketches of people. And then, there's some cats and some different shapes of things, and just whatever came into my mind, I just jotted them down. I think some of these are actually kind of interesting and turned out really cute. Like, they just look cute. They were just fun little studies because I like to draw figures in watercolor. So, it's just, for me, it's about letting go of the control and just seeing what comes out when you do things quickly and don't try to control it. And that's all that this was. But I actually enjoyed that. And I like seeing how things dry afterwards because it always dries differently than it looks when it's wet. So that's fun. And I went back in with some gold and added some fun little marks. And this is continuing with that. So then I just took a pink and I did a nice little landscape study. I think it's fun. I mean, there's some nice little details in here that I did. And this was all just with one brush. I'm not even sure which brush. It was probably something like this. That's probably the one I used, which is just a really cheap Mart, number 12 round brush. I think that's what I use for that. And then I just did some washes again, like I've done before, where I do a wash and then I go in with some mark making, just for funsies. This was again influenced by the Terry Runyan book and her amazing abstract cats that she does by just blobbing down some watercolor and then going back over and putting in details with it. Yeah, there's a fish and a bird here too, and some of these like god awful and scary as heck, but this guy's cute. I like him and I like the bird. I think those are really cute, but you don't know how things are going to look until you try it. And on this side again, I just did the whole page in a watercolors, whatever colors I had, and then I went over with this really pretty gold highlight and did some details on the flowers. It was meant to be like a really quick, don't think about it, just put the color down and see what happens. It's fun. Is it the best artwork? No, but it's fun. And then something like this I really like doing, where I'm just doing, which are kind of blobs, knowing that they're going to be flowers, and adding different colors. Like in these ones, I started off with pinks and peaches, but then I added some nice blues and purples, and I kind of dropped that into the middle just to see what the paint would do, and I just let it do its thing. And then I went over it with the detail fine liner afterward, just to give it more of a finish, I guess I would say. Yeah, but I like doing ones like this where it's loose and expressive, but I think it's still pretty. And get over here, as you can see, the theme of this book has been just like blob down the watercolor and then make something of it with some detail. So over here is cats and some ladies. And yeah, I mean, these are fun. They're not meant to be used for anything other than just being creative and having fun. This was actually started off with, I did the Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolors. I got a 20 pack because I wanted to see how they were. Before this had some really cheap, probably Walmart watercolors that I was using, as well as the Kuretake watercolors, which have a different effect and sheen to them than an actual professional watercolor. So I thought I splurged a little bit on this set, and then I just sampled like 12 or 13 of the colors that I used. I think I put them on a palette, so I wanted to see what they looked like. And then like later on down the road, I came back to this book, and then I came back and I did the same thing where I turned the blobs into some faces. And this girl I had sketched underneath, so I don't know why she was on that page, but I just filled her out with some more detail and just did some quick, not thinking about it, sketches. And oh, she's really cute. I like her hair. And then I did another one of these with the blobs for the flowers and then some leaves. And then when it dried, I come back in with my fine liner. I love doing these things. It's very also meditative and therapeutic and enjoyable. So it's a nice way to fill up a sketchbook and just be creative and just let it flow. But I really like that one too. Here was some doodling with my fine liner again. This one I think I got, I had like a stencil, so I did all the circles ahead of time. Then I went and sat on the couch. I think I was watching a movie most likely. And then I just filled it in with doodles and mark making, just for the sake of moving my hands and doing something. So it was a fun exercise. And then the last thing in here is actual sketches, where I think I was watching a YouTube video and there was some flowers in the background, and I just grabbed this happened to be sitting beside me, so rather than just doing nothing while I was watching the video, I took my fine liner and I doodled some of the flower vase, the one that was in the background, and then one that, I don't know, these ones just were out of my memory. This was kind of a nice table setting, like a long one. But I think they're actually pretty fun. Like, they're quick little sketches, and I like the detail and the looseness of them. I think that's more flowers. And then there was, in the thumbnail was someone riding a horse, and I just quickly sketched that too. And then, again, it's a sketchbook, so I'm actually sketching. You know, as much as I like the people that do those beautiful finished artworks on each page of their sketchbooks, I mean, sketchbooks are for sketching and doodling and making mistakes and having fun and learning techniques and stuff. So that's what these are. I hope you like looking at my stuff. And then last but not least, and I hope there's not a big glare on this, I'm gonna open my Procreate. I'm gonna start at the beginning because I'm gonna show you my Procreate, and hopefully there's not too much of a glare on here and that you can see it. Okay, we're gonna do this one really quick. So I wanted to show you, I've been using Procreate for a lot of things. I've had it for maybe 2 years now, and before I just used to, you know, fiddle around with it and try a few things. And then I really love the digital art. I'm not going to go through all of this, but you can kind of see things I was working on. More abstract things. That was a portrait I did for my friend of her dog. Some ideas, like I use it as a sketchbook as well, where I'll just sketch down like ideas I had. Like in the summer I was gonna do, you know, like one of each kind of these summer, like a Volkswagen Caravan and a Wagoneer and a Bronco and a little punch bug. And so this is how I'll just do my little sketches. But yeah, that was a sketch. And then I went back later and did this bus, which was really fun. But you can get some great detail. You can get some great brushes that look like There's the punch buggy that I did, little bug. You can get some really nice detail. I was fooling around with like summer colors. There's a rabbit I was trying to paint. I was working on some patterns and ideas. This was my cute, I called her Mimi, but I thought it was fun. Just a nice little, you know, abstract girl. She's got hair like me. There she is in her garden. I was playing around just with colors and brushes. This was one I was learning to do repeating patterns. I think that was Mel Armstrong. If you haven't watched her and you like to do surface pattern design, which is something that I'm kind of studying right now, she had a great video with the strawberries, so I followed along, and that's one that I made. So it started from that, and I made it into a repeating pattern. And that's another reason why I love the digital artwork, is because you can try so many things. There's different versions of birds I was trying, and I like doing like all this just for fun. All this kind of designs. I like taking images and then decorating them, I guess is what I would say. Different, just again studying. I was trying to just do some abstract, very fast sketches, creations. You know, there's summer icons. This was a design brief that I had done, and it was, they gave you the certain colors, and you had to do the hero illustration, and then a secondary illustration, and then the repeating pattern that goes with it. And I used the buttons, so that was really fun to do. I used the buttons as polka dots. But that was a fun design brief that I was learning to do. I'm not going to go open all of these because it would take forever. Just me drawing different kinds of things. I was trying out the like symmetry tool, where you can draw in one, either a half of it or a quadrant or even in a radius. And what you draw on one, it will make it appear in all the other ones exactly the same in symmetry, which is really fun. So I was just fooling around with that. It has kind of like a folky idea to it. And again, more of those. This was a girl that I really loved, and I did her completely on Illustrator, and I drew her all out. And this was one that just kind of came from my imagination, but I think she turned out really cute. And with the different brushes, you can get the nice effects. And she ended up reading a book called Poems of Love. Again, I didn't know what I was drawing when I started drawing her. It just came out that way, and I really love doing floral on like on clothing and stuff as an abstract look. But these were really fun to do as well. And it's, you know, you're using all the layers. You can see how many layers are involved in this one. And it's just so fun for anyone that hasn't used Procreate. It's just if you have an iPad, I highly recommend, if you're interested in art and you have an iPad, it's a great alternative to using paper, because you can travel anywhere with it. If you're going on vacation or you can't sit at a desk where you can do art and have all your supplies, you can get brushes and paper like layers that you can add that you can make it look like you're doing almost any kind of medium in here, which is fun. And you can erase mistakes, and you can try different things without ruining a piece of art. This one was fun. I like doing all these little details, and you can see how, like, look how close up you can get. It's insane. You can do all this tiny little detail and like make it as big or small as you want to. It's fun. Here's the girl I showed you earlier from the sketchbook that I took out the background and I added a floral. And I tried a couple different florals actually. So that one, if I can take off both layers of that, and you can see like there's that one. Well, that I added that, but there is, turn those off. I don't know where all the layers are, but you can see there's different ones that I had tried to do. I know this looks like chaos, but you could see how just adding on the different layers I don't know, I have some things turned on here that I don't need, but I don't know what I did. But anyways, so you can see how I took that physical watercolor and then I brought it into here and did something different with it. So it's all about experimenting and playing around. This one was really fun to do, and I ended up doing like a lot of detail on it. You can see like in front of each little store, I did different, I did different floral arrangements or pots and different designs on the storefronts. I gave a little bicycle in there. I learned how to do the reflection in the water and like all the details on the houses. Like this was really enjoyable for me to do. Super fun. Again, like meditative. I think all the little details for me is very meditative. That was the design brief I was working on. I was doing some abstract like cats and dogs, and like these guys are cute. I like these cats that I made. They're sweet. I'm not good at like more cartoony stuff. Again, more experimenting. Oh, here's my plant girl. I called her the plant ant. Look how cute she is. Because I love all these plants too. And her giant coat and her skinny legs, but I thought she was adorable. Her face turned out really cute, and I like the plants. Anyways, this is just me experimenting and having fun with my iPad. I'm gonna do a full, I think, digital video, like how I work with Procreate and how I use it and what I've learned. This is the watercolor cat. So when I saved this one, I changed the saturation on it so it looked really blue, and then I did white flowers all over it. And then another version was I saved it just in its black form, which I had painted, took out the background, and then added a really fun just digital illustration on top. And I like the way that one turned out too. These are just, I was gonna do some mug designs, and this was the size and shape of the file you would need if you're gonna do mugs, which I never ended up doing, but it was fun to draw. Again, experimenting with just different things. I did this fun girl. This was fun. It was just a walk in the woods, but the dog's cute, and I like the way her outfit turned out. And like all these different layers and all these fun things you can do with digital art. I think it's just fun. Cute rabbit. This was the vegetables I had. Here, I'll turn the, oh, I turned the background off, but you can see the drawing underneath it too. But this was the sketch I had done for my market tote bags. If I can, I'll insert a photo to show you what the finished product looked like. But it was just fun because I like using reusable bags for the market. And I did put them up on Etsy. No one's bought them, but that's okay. You got to try stuff, right? So yeah, that was that one. And then I had also done a chicken, a cat with some books, and some sheep. And I'd done those on tote bags as well. And then just more, here's where I got into more recent stuff where I've started making some digital art for Etsy that is available as art prints. And that's something that I just released in October, and I'm really excited about it. And it's just kind of starting to get some traction now. This was another one I had done just out of my head. I didn't know what I was drawing when I started it, and it ended up being this girl with a blue bird. Like, how cute is this blue bird? I'm like, how did I draw that? I don't even know how I drew it. And her face turned out cute, and she ended up being in stripes. And I like the sketchiness that I've left as the top layer, and then just kind of filled it in. And so that one's called Bluebird of Happiness. And it's just, I don't even know why I did it. It has no purpose, but I really loved doing it, and I love the way it ended out. So that was fun. And then I started doing these big abstract flowers because I love graphic design and big graphic posters, and I wanted to make some of my own. So I started doing these big abstract flowers. I gave it like a, I can't see it in here, but I gave it like a kind of a texture overlay, so it looks, in the finished print, it has like a kind of a vintage look to it. And I did that one in the amber color as well, because I think that's a color people like currently. And then I was just playing around with abstract flowers. And then I started doing, I love the Scandinavian folk art. I know I've shown a few books in the past in the 5 books that I love video. There's a couple that have a lot of folk art kind of inspiration in it. And this cat I did, I think he turned out really cute. It was just, this is me learning to be out of my comfort zone and doing stuff that's not realistic, but still fun and cute. And I think he turned out really cute. He's very square, but it's very stylized and I like it. And actually I have this one selling on my Etsy as a print and it's doing well. I'm happy about that. And then I did some more abstract, I can't speak, abstract vases and birds. And then this horse is also one of my favorites because I love horses and I wanted to do just a really fun with lots of movement and design. It's just a horse with flowers, but I thought, again, it was really fun to do and something different and unexpected and expresses my love for horses and flowers and black and white. Like I said, it's hard for me to do color, so I've done a lot of black and white stuff. And then another version of the big flowers, but with some small ones mixed in. These 2 birds I just did one day and I added flowers. I had, again, no directions. Sometimes inspiration just says, do this in your head. You're like, okay, I'll try it. And then I wanted to add words to it. And I heard love always wins because it's these black birds with hearts all over them. And I just thought, this is a really fun kind of urban, sketchy, different, very loose drawing. And I really had fun making it. And I think it's really cute. So, and a good reminder that love always wins. And then some more just illustrative stuff. A little teacup, take it slow, some birds with flowers. And I started doing some more abstract flowers and then trying different colors in them. And then I got into these different shapes with flowers. So I did a woman's silhouette and another cat. And then I experimented with the flowers and then with multicolors and then also in like monochromatic looks. So this was one I had tried where I did a layer of color. I just did a whole bunch of colors underneath and then I added a layer and erased the design, kind of like you would remember when you were kids and you would color something and then do black crayon over top and then you would scrape off the design to see like a sunset underneath or something. It was kind of like that, but digitally. So that was fun. And I did some sardines because sardines are, I feel like I'm seeing sardines everywhere right now, but this was fun because I did a lot of detail in this one. And I just think that would be cute on a wall in your kitchen or somewhere. Because why not? I did sardines. I did some more flowers, this time some tulips, some crazy girl. And then this was one I was just working on the other day. Again, more sketchy, just from my head, just sketching and doing lots of detail work because I really enjoy this really graphic, abstract way of drawing. It's been really fun to do on the iPad. And this is something that I wouldn't have been able to do just on paper. It wouldn't turn out like this because I wouldn't be able to like redo things if I didn't like it. So this is one of the reasons why I really like doing digital work. I love doing physical artwork, but I also love doing digital work. This girl I made last night, and I have to say, she's one of my favorite things I think I've drawn. It's so abstract. I had no idea what I was doing. Sometimes I just start drawing and this is what happens. And as an example, like on her coat, I drew all these flowers and I had planned to erase everything that wasn't on the coat, but I kind of like how they do go outside of the coat, so I just left it. And then I went to color in the sun behind her. I think I'm going to take these little kind of stitching lines off and just leave it plain, but I colored in the sun, which is like you can do a color drop, and it was over top, so it colored in her face as well, but I've left it because I think it just adds some real interest to this, and I really am pleased with this one. It's nothing I ever thought I would draw, but I love it. So again, you just never know. And the nice thing about digital is you can make as many artworks as you want because you're not wasting materials, you're not wasting paint, you're not wasting paper. You can just try stuff. And this is where inspiration, you know, you can go wild with it. Like I really enjoy this one. It's probably not your style, but, and then I have a couple other ideas of things that I need to work on and fill out. But so that's everything in my iPad and all my sketchbooks. Well, there you go, guys. That is it for my sketchbook tour. I hope you enjoyed seeing all the things that I've been up to. Not a lot of finished pieces, but a lot of practicing and trying new things out and just being creative in general. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I will make another update in a couple months. I do have more videos coming on other topics though, so stay tuned for those. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you again in the next video. Take care.